Continuing on with our shared with me videos, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to organize everything once everything has been shared with you. Now, Google Drive makes it really easy to get the assignments from your students as long as they correctly share it with you via Google Drive. It all goes into this one folder that's called Shared with Me. It's not really a folder, I guess it's kind of an option. And the best way you can organize it is to make sure you have folders labeled for each period. I have these folders that exist already because this is where all my content is. So, these are the assignments I'm sharing with my students. I gave you as an example, assignments that I would share. But to make it easier for yourself when you're ready to grade all these assignments, make sure you have a folder that allows you to place all those assignments in them when they're finished. So what I did was right-clicked, and I'm going to call this period 1 to be graded. So these are all my assignments for period 1 that need to be graded. One of the cool things about Google Drive is that once you're in this area, if you right-click, you get all of the options that you get when you click new. So if I'm here, I can get a new folder. If I click new, I can get a new folder as well. And if you notice, they're both the same options. You got all the same options. If you click here, all the same options. So depending on how you are, I know that for me, I respond really well to color. So I'm going to right click this folder and I get different options than I did when I right clicked the white part. When I'm in the white area and I right click, I get different options, but when I hover over a folder and I right click a folder, I get other options. And I'm going to go to this change color option, and for me, I think red's going to kind of tell me or shout out to me that I need to grade it. So in this red folder, I'm going to put all my period 1 to be graded. So once I'm done setting up my folder, I'm going to go ahead and click on Shared with Me. And loaded in here will be everything that was shared with you. What's cool about it is that in this column, it'll tell you who shared it with you, and in this column, it'll tell you when it was shared with you. So for example, if you gave them an assignment and you shared it with them and they needed to share it back with you the same day, you'll know if they didn't get it to you. If you had a due date of the next day, then it'll all be here with you when they shared it. So that's really cool if if one of your students turned it in late. You can deduct points if that's what you do, but it kind of keeps track of the time element of it. Now, the way you can get everything organized, because after a day in the computer lab, this whole folder is going to just pile up with everything that's been shared with you. Which is why, like I mentioned before in the previous video, it's going to be really important that you have them label it correctly. Now, I had period 1 at the end, but maybe to make it easier for you, you could put period 1 at the beginning. You decide how you want them to label their assignments, because essentially that's how it's going to get organized in your folder, right? I did it name first because I'm going to want to see who gave it to me. And, you'll know your student's name and what period they're in, so you can just put it back wherever it's supposed to go. If I hover over to the My Drive, I can click this button, the little arrow that was pointing to the right, and I can uncollapse all the folders that I have in my drive. And once I do that, I can click on the assignment that was shared with me. I can put it to my to be graded, and I'm all set to go. So when I click on my drive and I get back to my folders, I can double click on my to be graded folder, and there is the assignment that I need to be graded. If I double click it, it's showing the document that it'll tell me if there is changes, but it's giving me the document that the student was working on. This is really cool because especially if you're editing an essay and you want to see that the students have made the changes, if you click here, then it'll show that they made the changes. So that's just a quick overview of how to get your drive set up. Again, I know that it can be very overwhelming to virtually grade everything, but as long as you get organized, I think you can manage everything. And again, it's just a transition, maybe one assignment, not all of your assignments, and you'll be good to go.